and really taking a look at transformation. This time of the type that looks to pursue gender parity as well as gender equality within the workspace and across society overall. Now, it's well documented that women who work within the ICT field are not necessarily well represented and underpaid as well. This again is met with its own concerns in terms of certain policies that need to be changed and how best we need to address the use of ICT for the advancement of women, not only in this technological space, but even in terms of human capital development and social enhancement. To give us a better understanding of this through her Try Talk, with the focus being a talk on women in technology, allow me to welcome our next guest who joins us here in our studio. In just a moment, Nadine Nagaroo of Vodacom. A warm welcome, Nadine. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Gugu. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed a privilege to be speaking to you about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that being women in tech. So thank you to the organizers of the conference for affording me this platform and for allowing me to share a few thoughts this morning. I believe that the biggest opportunity usually comes disguised as insurmountable problems. And this statement holds very true for the uncertain and chaotic times that we find ourselves in as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. It has shaken us to our very core, and many of us are still grappling with the impact, be it physically, emotionally, and financially. However, this crisis has birthed a global acceleration across the digital landscape, with new opportunities emerging as the world tries to find its new normal. And I suppose this digital virtual conference is an example of such. In South Africa, we too have fallen victim to this pandemic. And whilst there has been a shift towards embracing digital services, I believe that it has brought to light a few inherent social challenges, such as the shortage of skills within the tech landscape to deal with this digital demand, the high barriers to entry within the industry, especially for us women, and the poverty levels, which has resulted in many consumers, SMMEs, informal traders such as your spaza shops, which are usually mostly women-owned, just not being able to take advantage and ride this digital wave. In fact, many of them have closed down during the lockdown. Firstly, I would like to leave you with 4 key themes during my speech. But before I delve into that, there is a poll question that you should see coming up on your screens. And it's quite relevant for the theme that we're speaking about today, which is women in tech. And the question is, do you agree that access to careers in the tech sector in 2010 are gender agnostic? In other words, do you agree that regardless of whether you're male or female, you have equal access to careers in the tech sector? Yes or no? I'm quite keen to see your opinions, and hopefully we'll touch on this towards the end of my presentation. So going back to the 4 key takeouts that I would like to leave with you. Firstly, careers have no gender. And that is a powerful statement in itself. However, while this is true, there is no question that women are severely underrepresented in the technology sector globally. According to a report by PwC, women currently only hold about 19% of tech-related jobs at the top 10 global tech companies, relative to men who, of course, hold the other 81%. Further, the number of women qualifying with the STEM degrees of science, technology, engineering, or maths is only approximately 23%, according to UNESCO stats, which results in the pool of female talent being very small. It appears that old-fashioned stereotypes and gender biases still seem to be the order of the day. But in this digital age of progress, careers should and must have no gender. And in South Africa, this is just exacerbated by our skill shortage. So it's really imperative that a strong focus be placed on grooming women from early ages to pursue careers in technology, which then brings me to my second key takeout. Girls with dreams become women with vision. Tech training for everyone, especially young girls, must start at school level with a strong focus on STEM subjects accompanied by design thinking and problem solving. The school curriculum is evolving to cater for this, We've already seen the introduction of subjects such as computer application technology, engineering, graphic design, and I believe there's more changes underway which include coding and robotics being formalized as part of the curriculum in the near future. While there are still many challenges in the education system and in South Africa, the pressure needs to be consistently applied in order to build solid tech competencies at school level, and this needs to become a national priority. I also think that it's important to acknowledge that gender equality starts at home. It is imperative for parents of young girls to also be conscious of how they engage with their daughters. I suppose we've all been guilty of exposing little girls to makeup and fashion or playing house with their little dolls, whereas little boys are usually exposed to Lego building or exploring the outdoor environment, and as they get older, video gaming, etc. Sometimes parents or adults are unintentionally hardwiring their kids by directing their female child interest to traditional female interests, thereby transferring onto them gender stereotypes. Times are changing, and it's important that we change our mindset too, and not unconsciously and innocently reinforce age-old stereotypes. We often underestimate just how impressionable the little ones are. In fact, research shows that children start absorbing stereotypes from as early as 3 years old. So it's vitally important for us to instill the necessary confidence in our little girls and provide the right exposure to various career opportunities in a gender agnostic manner sooner rather than later. We empower them to become the next generation of women leaders in the tech industry by educating them, not just at school level, but it starts in our homes. The third key takeout is, as women, it's important to be where the world is going. In this fourth industrial revolution of digitization, robotics, artificial intelligence, there's a blurring of lines across various industries. For example, we see the finance and technology industry merging into what we know today as fintechs. This means that women, skilled and educated in a variety of disciplines, can realistically set their sights on working in a tech company. And I'm living proof of that. After spending many years in the legal field, I now find myself as an executive in a successful fintech, which is Vodacom Financial Services within the ICT sector. So the message needs to get out there clearly and unambiguously. Women need to appreciate that there is a real possibility of becoming employed in the broader tech sector regardless of your underlying qualifications. Engineering, law, finance, HR, the humanities, the tech sector can accommodate you. It is by no means a closed shop. So be where the world is going. And we have seen over the lockdown period and over the last few months that technology and digitization is where the world is going. So as women, we need to be at the forefront of these industries. The fourth key takeout is, actions speak louder than words. Therefore, good ideas must translate into real action. We as South African women, we face a number of real challenges which add to the issue of being underrepresented in the workforce, more especially in the tech sector. And just to name a few, socially there's rampant gender-based violence and other social inequalities and discriminatory practices against females. Traditionally, we also come from a strong patriarchal system and a male-dominated society with a reluctance to afford women the same professional status equal to that of men in the homes, let alone in the workplace. Many families today also comprise of single female breadwinners. Therefore, there is added financial pressure placed on us as women. As a nation, we have made great strides, and there are currently several social trends and movements that aimed at uplifting and protecting women. We've heard some of these in the previous conversations. And to just address the challenges highlighted, and just to name a few, the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, the hotline that's sponsored by Vodacom that our Chief of Corporate Affairs spoke to you a bit earlier on, the hashtag #MeToo campaign. There are also many organizations such as the Women in IT, Women in Tech ZA, Women in ICT, and I can go on. And all these are aimed at bridging that gender gap. And these are all really good initiatives, but they need to lead to real change, including a concerted effort to see women as active contributors in business as well as in the tech industry. You know, I'm a firm believer that the awakening must lead to accommodation. Companies need to change their attitudes towards employing women generally, particularly in the tech sector, which is what makes me very fortunate to be working for a company like Vodacom. Vodacom portrays an excellent example, a role model, in fact, to other companies on how it has responded to the challenge and shaped its recruitment policies to be more accommodating towards women. We have a program called the Women in Waiting program, which proactively identifies skilled women in the marketplace and essentially creates a talent pool with a view to filling vacancies as and when they arise. So in an indirect manner, we are identifying a pipeline of talented women and making a concerted effort to draw this talent into our business. In my own division, Vodacom Financial Services, I'm very proud to say that the executive committee currently comprises of 50% of female executives when compared to the industry norm of around 28%. Not to mention our own chief officer, Miriam Kassim, is also a very successful, strong female role model who is passionate about women empowerment and drives us to attaining new heights of success. We also recently announced our collaboration with Alipay, where we're developing a robust digital payments ecosystem that will house super apps that could be used by SMMEs and informal traders, such as your spaza shops, to help digitize their businesses in a simple and low-cost manner. We also offer loans and business support to small businesses through our VodaLend product. This has already proven to be very successful with a woman-owned business called the Bread Box Bakery, where we were able to provide the owner with much-needed finance to keep her bakery open. In the spirit of financial and gender inclusion, we at Vodacom Financial Services not only focus on attracting the right female talent, but we also consistently are on the lookout to see how best we can support women-owned businesses by helping them grow into formidable, digitally enabled businesses of the future. So before I conclude, I see that the stats from our polls are coming in, and there's a majority of you that are essentially disagreeing with the statement that access to careers in the tech industry is gender agnostic, and I tend to agree with that. And I do believe that whilst there has been quite a few initiatives and movements, both at national level and corporate level, I do believe that there's much work to be done. So finally, I would like to challenge each of you on this conference call, especially the women leaders. Let us be the change that you want to see in the world, because true change actually starts with each of us. Let's be more aware of our own unconscious biases. Let's start having those difficult conversations in the boardrooms relating to gender discrimination. And most importantly, as women leaders, let's start supporting each other, because incredible things can happen when women support each other. I believe that as leaders, each of us has a duty to the next generation of female leaders by creating a powerful culture of mentoring, building, empowering, and promoting each other. We have a responsibility to ensure that we are lifting others as we rise, and we should be ruthless in maintaining at least a 50-50 balance within our teams when it comes to female leaders, as well as pushing our female leaders out of their comfort zones and providing them with the necessary opportunities to showcase their skills and talents. I have no doubt that together we can make a difference and change the future landscape of technology for the better. But it starts with each of us. So let's be the catalyst for change. Let's change the narrative for the generations to come. Let's create a future that we can all be proud of. Thank you very much again to the organizers for affording me the platform to speak about this relevant and important topic, and I do hope that the rest of you enjoy the rest of your conference. Over to you, Gugu.
Nadine, thank you so much for flying the flag so high for more women involved in technology and overall gender parity, which remains quite a pertinent issue. We appreciate your efforts and look forward to more updates in terms of the programs that are unfolding at Vodacom. Thank you so much. That's Nadine Nagaroo, who joins us as the Executive Head of Risk, Regulatory and Compliance at Vodacom, really speaking about a pertinent issue in terms of how it is that we communicate and speak to young females about their participation in the world of technology. Beyond being consumers, but really the architects of how it is that we interact and engage with technology.